Welcome back to another Blue Jackets game reaction. Game 16 at home against the Penguins. Blue Jackets losing 5-3 to Pittsburgh. Jackets can't hold on to a lead, so what else is new? They had a 2-1 lead after the first period, but they could not hang on to that one. Another pretty good performance from Elvis Merzlikins, in my opinion. That was pretty much thrown down the drain, wasted there. The team actually has less wins and points through 16 games this year than their first 16 games last year, which is insane to think about because the goals for this season, while many Blue Jackets fans understood that grabbing a wild card spot for the playoffs was probably a bit out of reach, I feel like we expected, and rightfully so, considering the moves that were made in the offseason to try to bolster down the defense and keeping the band together for the most part, adding Adam Fantilli in the draft. Expectations for this season's what was going to be improvement from this Blue Jackets team. But right now, the team overall stinks, and a large reason for that is that their best players have not been their best players pretty much all year. Johnny Gaudreau and his struggles have been they've been widely publicized, but also you have guys like Zach Werenski, and now I'm going to throw Patrick Laine in there as he's been in the lineup for a little bit post-injury. None of those guys really having as much of an impact as we would have hoped, or at least a positive impact, even with Zach Werenski becoming the all-time Blue Jackets leader in assists among defensemen tonight. Congratulations to him, a good milestone to set there, but just has the highest paid players that you really want to be key pieces of the core moving forward for the Jackets just have not been contributing what you would expect them to at this point. And if those guys don't turn their seasons around quick, like right now, we're going to be thinking about how maybe they can improve their performances for next season by Thanksgiving. And that's basically the long and short of it. But back to this game that the Jackets played tonight. Blue Jackets were in their Cannon alternate jerseys. I always do like that look. Didn't really serve to help them in this one, but I think it's a clean look for Columbus. David Jiricek in for Adam Boqvist on that third pair with Jake Bean as he was recalled after Jack Roslovic went on IR with a broken ankle. I would rather see Jiricek in the top four. I thought he was having some good chemistry with Ivan Provorov, and I would just like to see this promising prospect get a bit more ice time. And as good as Goodbranson has been, and I thought he had another pretty solid game tonight. Wouldn't mind seeing Erik Goodbranson take a spot on that third pair. I feel like Erik Goodbranson at this point, I feel like he could put in a solid performance pretty much wherever you put him in the lineup on that right side of the defense. But as the game got underway, Pittsburgh getting a lot more shots early, resulting in them getting the first goal of the game. It was Sidney Crosby from a low angle after a Letang shot went off the back wall, beating Elvis. Crosby now 5th in all-time points against Columbus in the NHL. Feels like that's low for Sidney Crosby. Maybe by when the time it's all said and done, he'll be the all-time leader in putting points up against the Blue Jackets. Definitely feels like he should be a bit higher up on that list, but either way, Jackets doing a decent job of responding, though, in the first period. Kirill Marchenko getting the puck on the rush, deking into the middle of the slot, and beating Tristan Jarry on the backhand, and that would tie the game at 1. Then the Jackets getting a power play. It was a pretty decent power play, got some good zone time. I think that first unit was out there for pretty much the entire 2 minutes of that one, but they just couldn't cash it in with a goal, however. But near the end of the first period, it'll be Igor Chinakov getting a wrister just past Tristan Jarry with about 30 seconds left in the period. Jarry not really having a good first period. I think you could argue that both of those goals were a bit soft for Tristan to give up there. Chinakov getting his first goal of the season, so congrats to him for that. Columbus going into the locker room up 2-1. The question now being, well, can they settle this game down? Something they haven't been able to do really through this past stretch of 11 games where they only have one win. The answer is still no. The first 10-15 minutes of the second period are what we've seen out of this team for a while now, where the Jackets, they have a lead and they have some time for both teams reset momentum, and the Jackets get completely shelled with the goal advantage. Elvis doing what he can, making some really good stops, but the Penguins just keep creating chances that the Jackets aren't really contesting or making. They're not being able to match those chances with the Penguins. It's really just Pittsburgh getting chance after chance after chance, and eventually it was Gensel tying the game up at 2, making a diving effort on a puck in the slot going under the pad of Elvis Merzlikins. Tied at 2. We have ourselves a new game. Now, Columbus would get 2 more power plays before the end of the second period, but neither of them doing a whole lot. The second one lasting a little bit into the beginning of the third as well. But you go into the locker room, tied at 2. Basically, all it comes down to is winning the third period, or if you want to go into overtime, not losing the third period. And Pittsburgh, they got that message early, as once again, they were all over the game to start the period. Pittsburgh killing off the remainder of the Jackets' power play and then getting one themselves. But the Blue Jackets, their penalty kill has been a bright spot throughout the stretch of play, where they're not getting wins, they're not getting results, but they're getting they're getting some good penalty kills. Penguins' power play doesn't get a goal, but Pittsburgh continuing to gather themselves and dominate the third period early on, eventually pinning the Jackets in their own zone for an extended period of time, and a wicked Carlson one-timer slap shot beats Elvis clean. Elvis trying to go side to side, not just wasn't able to get past you in time. That was a wicked shot from Carlson there. And then they build some momentum. And the Jackets, though, again, responding pretty well, building some momentum. The fourth line coming through again. I do feel like that's something that I haven't really mentioned these past few games, but the fourth line with Corrali, Danforth, and Texier, they're able to get some stuff going at times with Danforth and Corrali attempts leading to Texier having a wide open rebound chance. He buries it to tie the game once again at 3. New life for Columbus. That is until the Jackets got on the power play again. Once again, power play, no dice there. Power play going 0 for 4 in this one, which could have definitely, you think, if they could have at least gotten one and got an insurance goal, maybe this game goes a little differently, as the Penguins penalty kill building momentum for Pittsburgh. It would be Crosby getting a tip-in on a shot pass, I believe, from Erik Karlsson to retake a lead late in this game for Pittsburgh. Jackets trying to do what they can, eventually going empty net, but all that would do would be to give a chance for Sidney Crosby to finish off a hat trick, which he does, making it 5-3. So another miserable game for Columbus, where they give you just enough hope to think that, hey, maybe the Jackets can turn it around in this one. They finished the first period off really in a really solid way. Or the second period, yeah, even though they gave up the tying goal, they kind of evened the game late in the second period. Maybe they can go into third and get some momentum, but then they give up the lead. But then, Texier ties it up at 3, so maybe they can, at least hold this out to overtime, or maybe this momentum spills over into another goal to make it a 4-3 game and all that. But no, it's just another similar game where it's another Blue Jackets Penguins game where Sidney Crosby gets a bunch of points. He fills up his stat sheet against Columbus. Again, 5th all time. That's what Sidney Crosby does against the Blue Jackets at this point. And it turns into just another bad loss for Columbus. 1 win in their last 11 games. They have now lost 6 straight. And again, unless they go on some long stretch of winning and getting a bunch of points, and they somehow claw their way back into this fairly soon, Jackets fans, including myself, are going to be lottery watching in like a month. If the Jackets don't get their act together and improve, we're going to be lottery watching at that point in the season, which is not what we expected to be doing. We expected to be looking at where the Jackets compare to other young up-and-coming teams and seeing if we could maybe compete for a wild card spot, maybe not necessarily grab one, but at least be in that range until late in the regular season. But instead, it looks like it might just be another year of, hey, hopefully we get another top draft pick and rely on lottery luck, which is not going to go the Jackets' way ever. But again, that's for later in the season to worry about. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you didn't make it this far into it, leave a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed it and you'd like to see more like it. You can let me know what you thought about this game and how the Blue Jackets might fare in the near future. Maybe you think the Jackets do have a miracle turnaround comeback story situation in them. I'm not there right now, but maybe you could talk me into it in the comments. But once again, thank you for watching. I'll see you at the next one.